Like, I feel like both of these teams are kind of in their element right now. And VICI, as you said, bypassing this, I don't want to call it cheese. That's really not it. It's just smart, as you pointed out yesterday when we really saw it in action. It's not cheesy. It's just they recognize how greedy and how a lot of these teams are playing and how abusive they can be if they draft against it. But a bit of a different lineup this time, but still going to be a lot for EG to handle. We're going to see VICI move out as 5 and move into their own jungle, but EG doesn't seem all that interested in moving out as a group yet.
EG sort of created the meta game, or they trended their own thing and then created a meta game that a lot of teams seem to pick up on with the Tidehunter and the Enigma and the Razor especially. And I'm really glad to see a different kind of lineup coming out for them. This is not a completely unheard of lineup, but all of the EG players have heroes that they are very familiar with. Of course, Sion the Sand King, Universe on the Nature's Prophet, Arteezy on the Templar Assassin, and Mason on the Priestess of the Moon. So this shows how much of a wide range of heroes that EG really masters.
Oh yeah, they have one of the deepest hero pools in the game, though they do tend to gravitate towards a certain style and a certain pool of them, just like any team does. Arteezy, heading into mid, has gone boots first on his TA and been pulled a couple of tangos.
I'm interested to see how VG is going to lane this up, if they're just going to straight up tri-lane, or if they're going to put a dual lane mid, it seems. Fenrir and Sylar on the Morphling and the Lich.
We'll see where Fenrir goes to. He may just deny a creep here, then bail elsewhere.
Look at this. ROTK is going bottom. They're just going to go try and play it sort of greedy and get farm on all of the heroes. Lich is actually going top. So it's going to be a Morphling. I have no idea. They keep reverting back and forth.
Yeah, they're actually coming back to mid now. And I'm as curious as you are. ROTK, as you mentioned, is by himself down the bottom. They're going to rotate FY and Super down this way. And in the meantime, yeah, they're going to just abandon the off lane entirely. Just going to have Fenrir hanging out with Sylar in mid with a tri-lane bottom, at least for the moment.
Yeah, I think they were started stepping a bit, realizing that, oh wait, we cannot do a dual lane on top.
Yep.
Simply impossible against the Sand King, Shadow Demon, and Mirana.
Yeah, it would have just been a feed fest for sure. ROTK, alone for a little while, getting some experience in the... That's easy. Has a CS? Not yet. Has a deny, though. There you go. A little bit of gold for him. Super, though. Now moving in the lane will certainly take over farm priority there. What do you think about Fenrir here in mid? I mean, obviously there's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. I'm just curious, how long do you think he'll stay here?
Oh, I'm guessing for the reminder, unless he's gonna go up on the top lane, but I think he's just gonna help the Morphling secure his farm. They realize that if they're gonna win this game, they need to get a lot of farm on Sylar, and on top of that, keeping Arteezy away from any noteworthy item progression. So definitely doing the right thing here. It's not the end of the world giving a Priestess of the Moon a lot of farm early on, and so when Sai gets level 2 on that second, he's actually having skilled Burrow Strike, so he can go in, just level Sandstorm on level 1 and go jungle.
Yeah, speaking of jungling, ROTK is flat out doing that, moving straight into the hard camp, has a lot of tangos, has 6 left over after chewing through a couple, probably pulled one and then just used one for the first time. So he's just going to flat out jungle. This will leave a duo lane for just FY, and Super for the most part will be sitting here solo, as FY for the most part just going to be doing his work out of the jungle. And of course up at top, Mason not going to be have anything in his face. He's going to be able to free farm completely. Now up to 8 CS. The Morphling in mid is currently topping the CS board though, and 9. Arteezy struggling a bit, has just 4.
See PPD standing on a haste rune on top. Gonna give it to Arteezy. There's no bottle as of yet. He's actually just gonna pick up some regen.
Swiftly to the temple's defense.
Arteezy needed this. He's still 200 gold shy of his bottle, so Sylar and Fenrir might actually be lucky to catch a break on him and kill him with refraction off. Does have that haste rune now, so there's no way they can do it for the next at least 5 seconds.
All right, so the current complexion of the lanes, how do you think this is going to end up playing out over the next few minutes?
I think it's so far heavily favoring EG, despite the lids on the middle lane. Just because Mason is free farming and they're optimizing the farm on side, but look at Universe bottom now. He's gonna have to start his TP. It's gonna be too little too late. This is gonna be the first blood.
Yep, Super sucked way too much damage in. Universe cut out of position and punished by VICI Gaming. Super and FY tallying the first blood.
Yeah, so that just turned the tides completely. FY with that first blood, getting level 3, pulling through, getting a lot of experience up on his support hero. Sai and PPD still level 2 respectively. And of course Arteezy struggling on getting farm on the middle lane. He's got 600 gold, very close to his bottle. But Sylar already got his bottle and sitting on 300 gold. However, there are boots up on Arteezy, so he's not too far away.
Up ROTK in some trouble here. Moved up the top, and he's going to end up feeding because of it. So caught by PPD Mason, and honestly, Zai didn't even have to get involved. It was just a disruption into an arrow, and they had more than enough damage to bring him down, making 1-1.
Good little soul catcher as well.
Yep.
Ensuring that he took as most damage as possible. Zai barely managing to get that creep pull off, and that's a double stack, so he's gonna hit level 3, maybe even level 4. A lot of farm off of this with the Sandstorm.
FY chasing Universe back again. Universe has managed to find level 4 though. His skill build, 2 points into Nature's Call.
Yeah, so still double as good as RTK, who even started out jungling.
And ROTK is struggling a bit. We'll be able to soak a little bit of experience here. Zai, though, is that level 3 that is so essential. Now it's a Pro Strike.
And EG is very good at controlling the runes. PPD and his movement is strong for this. And so Arteezy with the Invis rune.
Will he go for it? Yep. Disruption. Mason right there behind him. Zai's there to follow. Arrow on the mark. This will be another death. Universe even coming in to guarantee it's a kill. And soak a little experience and gold while he's about it. And mid, Arteezy, looked like they were converging on him. Looks like they thought about it. They already have a ward down, a sentry ward, so if they do decide to engage, they'll have that. But now with forward top, they may decide to push.
EG could put some pressure on this tower. The only one that can actually keep them off bay is the Razor. And potentially the Rasta. Rasta isn't level 5 yet, so Aetherjog doesn't deal sufficient damage yet. But Universe is just going to go into the jungle instead.
We've got 3 rotating to mid now from VICI. They want to take a run at Arteezy. It would be a great kill if they can get it. There's the Hex. Refraction buys some time. There's the Shackles as well. Another Sentry goes down just to stay safe. PPD's going to be there. Has a defensive disruption if needed. Nope, not even going to need it. Arteezy getting help from his buddy, but at this point, that may have been a bit too late of a gank attempt. If they were going to do that, might have wanted to do it earlier.
Yeah, it's very hard to kill a Templar Assassin with Refraction up on him.
Yep. Universe coming back down, and Super getting very aggressive, chasing him all the way back behind his own tier 1, but no reaction coming, so just a little free damage for him. Up at top, we can see ROTK right in the face of Mason, and VICI still giving a lot of attention to mid.
Yeah, and so Mason now has base boom, so he can easily keep ROTK out bay by himself and make sure that the Tidehunter, he's probably still going to get levels, but at least he can't farm at all. The bottom lane though, we've often seen Universe revert into the jungle at this stage of the game. He insists on staying in the bottom though.
A lot of that has to do with Zai. Zai is currently stacking another hard camp, and he'll be taking that down with his Sandstorm, giving Zai a lot of attention, a lot of space to operate, so he can get to his level 6, but more importantly, get his Blink. And he's not far from it. He only needs 700 gold to have his Blink Dagger up with his Brown Boots.
Yeah, that's going to change things a whole lot around for EG, and they're going to be able to put on even more aggression than we've already seen. They didn't take down the top tower or even attempt to do so because they're happy with Mason just getting some free farm.
And Arteezy, his bottle and his Glove of Haste is done. Midas will be the next point of interest for sure. A little bit of a rotation now as VICI sending Fenrir to top, but PPD doubling back as well.
So, and this is the problem with Lich. It doesn't really offer anything in terms of ganking, and even though you keep down middle lane for the first, how long did he spend there, 5 minutes or so? It's so insignificant. You can see the item difference between Arteezy and Sylar. It's really not that big, despite Sylar almost tripling the CS of Arteezy. As long as Arteezy doesn't die, it's not the end of the world, and he did get his level 6, and he's closing in on power threats.
And like you said, doing just fine. Both teams playing this very cautiously. And it makes total sense for EG, as we can see another stack being handled by Zai. After this, he'll probably need 1, maybe 2 more to finish his Blink Dagger. At that point, I think we can expect him to get aggressive, because he will hit level 6 by the time he has enough gold. In fact, he's
now they're pushing the top tower. Universe completed his
ROTK sprouted in, and no follow-up. The Universe completed the buckler. Yep.
Yeah, so they can get that armor up on him as well. Or actually, he may just TP back bottom. He's gonna just TP back bottom. I thought they for sure would wanted to push that tower down and put some pressure on VG while Arteezy farms up some much needed items.
I think EG's okay with the status quo. He's going to pull the treants, use the treants to pull the creeps back, and Super and company getting a little bit of damage done. Mason's actually way dove right here. Has Moonlight Shadow and Leap. We'll go ahead and use that Leap.
Yeah, another 200 gold short of the Blink Dagger on Zai. PPD is stacking a camp for him, so once he takes that camp down... Is he going to take that one or the Satyr camp? He's just going to stay with this one.
This is going to be the last he needs. Only needs about another...
Oh, middle lane.
Yep, mid. Sylar in some trouble, and Arteezy thought better of it, and wisely so. There's going to be a disruption for PPD, trying to buy some time. FY, slowed by the side trap as well, so no pursuit possible. from VICI. In the meantime, space created as Mason continues to go to work at top and farm away, while Universe is now pushing on this bottom tier 1, which is below half health already, and there's that Blink Dagger up from Zai. Level 6, Blink Dagger done, and ready to roll.
This is where we'll start seeing the strength of the EG lineup. Universe hits his level 6, is trying to get that mechanism up so they can put on even more early pressure. Doesn't even matter that Arteezy doesn't have any significant farm, because the Sand King has his Blink Dagger, and Tidehunter is not even level 6. Actually, his size level 6.5. I was about to say we have a Sand King with a Blink Dagger without epicenter.
Oh, he hit 6 just in time, and just a absolute clinic on how to run that that kind of a Sand King approach. Just stabilize your lanes and then prioritize the jungle. Arrow shot and hits on ROTK. Mason's going to leap ahead. Starfall is there, and this is going to be a solo kill for Mason. Very handy to have. TP comes, but too little too late. FY can't do anything. Now EG converging on the mid. PPD and Zai are smoked. They're going to look to lead with a disruption. Oh, and Super's just baiting right into it. There's going to be the epicenter as the blink is revealed. And that's a big exchange. 2 heroes dropping that VICI just simply can't afford to have fall behind right now.
It looks as if Arteezy is not going to build the power treads, which was a bit unusual as well. We see it from time to time, but I do believe the face boots on it is stronger. He's actually going to go for a Midas and play catch up instead.
Siler split pushing bottom. Best he can. Universe comes in. It'll be a replicant brought out. He's going to be forced back to his own tier 2. Mason, in the meantime, pushing at the tier 1, slightly up at top. What do you think is the best way for EG to continue to roll with this momentum?
Just continue doing what they're doing. I mean, you can see the farm on Siler. He hasn't even completed power treads. We're 10 minutes into the game, and there's no significant item progression from anyone on VG.
Zai is more farmed than Siler right now. I just want to point that out. His net worth is actually higher than Siler's.
He has the highest net worth, I believe.
Nope, he's behind Mason.
Oh yeah, Mason, of course, with that solo kill as well. So yeah, EG can just sit back and do what they do and wait for Universe to complete his mechanism before they start taking objectives. The problem, however, is of course the fact that ROTK is now level 6 on the Tidehunter, closing on his Arcane Boots. Meanwhile, Sai actually finished his Arcane Boots, so he's incredibly farmed.
Arteezy could be in trouble. Actually, they're going to catch him. FY, nope, doesn't have the ability to close.
He does have a Dust of Appearance on him, FY, so even if Arteezy used Melt or, of course, Mirana Ultimate, they could see him.
Arteezy just hustling a bit too quick. He's only about 100 gold now away from finishing his Midas. Looks like they're just going to trade tier 1s. 4 here from VICI, and the wards are ready for FY if they want to use it. Doubt they will on such a low tower. There's really no reason.
Yeah, there's a Seeds creep. I don't see them using them on this tower, but they might actually continue knowing that EG is spending time on top lane and see how low PPD is all of a sudden.
Yep, Arteezy and PPD. Try and hold that plus. Oh, there's going to be another good burrow strike from Zai, and the Nature's Wrath to follow it up, and VICI's caught. They're going to try to pursue them out. There's going to be a side trap that catches 3, and Arteezy on the hunt. Zai has burrow strike ready right now. It's only 10 seconds to Epi. If this drags out, there's a disruption by PPD, and now Fenrir in some trouble. He should be cleaned up behind that. In the meantime, Super will be able to TP away, and they do secure the kill on
Mason
Fenrir.
got Super in the fountain.
What?
His last Starstorm hit in the fountain.
Oh, wow. So ROTK now going to be burrow struck. Arrow barely misses. Zai, though, body blocking. Mason right behind him. Starstorm going to come now. And that's going to be a full 5-man wipe by the time all is said and done. And Universe actually caught by FY now. Ward trap, so FY gets a little bit of immediate payback.
But Universe got a tier 2 tower. Can I just point out, amazing Sand King play by Sai in that fight.
Oh, man, he's so good.
And incredible timing. Look how well they timed it with the Nature's Wrath from Universe. They just all went to 1 HP, and then the Sandstorm combined with the Shadow Poison just finished off the entire VG lineup. And then the follow-up Burrow Strike afterwards, where he hit 2 targets standing on opposite sides of the lane. Absolutely beautiful play by Sai.
Couldn't agree more. And PPD, honestly, he disrupted 1, wasn't even needed. Like you said, Sai came in at the perfect angle, and showing why he is one of the brightest young stars shining in the Dota universe right now.
TC now Midas and power treads. Mason has got drum and face boots.
And
got 2 great kills in that fight as well. Especially the one on Super, who actually TP'd home to safety, but then had the second charge of Starstorm land on him in the fountain.
Epicenter's up. This is going to be, yep, he's going for it. And there's the Epi, the burrow strike to follow. TP's going to come in as well. Nature's Wrath connected. Can Mason catch him? Oh, didn't hit the arrow. Morphing strength, but he's running out of steam. He's going to waveform away. Can they catch him? Another burrow strike and blink is ready. There it is. Catching him from behind. Mason doesn't have another arrow. Doesn't think he's going to need it. And that's going to be a two-man kill onto Sylar. They're doing a phenomenal job of holding him down, and all the while, Arteezy pecking away at the tier 1 mid. Now, caught out though, he's going to be hexed, and Super is leashed to him. That static link's doing so much damage. PPD with the defensive disruption, ROTK trying to run some interference. There's the shackles as well, and they should be able to clean him up. They do, so the Aegis popped off without a lot going for EG in the process. Another sentry's going to go down. It's going to be in Ravage. Zai, though, comes back in. It's another two-man burrow strike. However, the follow-up just isn't there. Universe not built enough. He did go mech, so unable to really contribute any damage, and poor PPD. The sacrificial lamb, as always, not very tanky. Zai comes back in with another two-man burrow strike. Now they're going to try to fall. Sylar comes in, though. There's going to be Chain Frost. Kited out as PPD gets distance and doesn't allow it to bounce. Sylar sprouted in. Mason doing what work he can. Super little too tanky, though. Mason has to fall back, doesn't have much mana, enough for a leap if he had needed it, but looks like both teams ready to go back to their corners and take a breather.
Yeah, and EG is just trying to make the most of a bad situation. They actually managed to get a kill on the Rasta. However, there was a sentry ward down, so Sai paid with his life. It was still a great fight by them, and Sai again continues to deliver big impact plays.
But he's going to the Force Staff now too, and we'll have it done as soon as he respawns. So his mobility is going to be off the charts. PPD finishes an urn in the meantime. Taking a look at the build from Universe. The mech, as we mentioned, kind of an old school Prophet build, and we're beginning to see a lot more of this, really.
Rabbit's now down for Tidehunter for another 80 seconds. He's going to go straight in for a Blink Dagger. He's 100 gold shy of it. That means EG, led by Arteezy, can easily pick down at least a tier 1 town. Probably even go for tier 2.
Yep. Wow, Super actually got caught, and here comes the arrow that will connect, and Super's going to end up dead. Arteezy got hexed, and now Ward Trap. Universe, though, and PPD trying to flank around the backside. Arteezy manages to make it out, and FY chopped down in the woods, and that's going to be a hell of a lot of gold coming off of those wards as well. Zai has his epicenter back up, and they may just keep pushing here. No reason not to.
And Sai didn't actually show himself in the fight, but he did force stab Arteezy out of the walls.
And Zai getting a bird's eye view of the battlefield. We'll zoom it back a little bit. Mason leaps, takes a shot with the arrow, doesn't connect, but doesn't look like Zai going to be able to land an epi this time. We'll go ahead and burrow strike ROTK, but no follow-up, and probably for the best. Up at top, Universe trying to hold this tower. There's going to be a TP, as Sylar has half health. That's going to be Mason. Can Mason hit another arrow? He's thinking about it.
On Sylar. No TP scroll for 15
guess
seconds.
wrong. Totally wrong. Shot south instead of east, but nonetheless, EG has broken this game wide open. 2 towers drop, 13-5.
Oh no, Sylar, what are you doing?
What is he doing?
TP scroll not available.
Oh, okay, he'll be all right. Does make it out. But anyway, at the end of all the dust, as the dust settles rather, just about 12k gold and coming up on 10,000 experience. The lead for EG.
And great play by them so far. The problem with VICI was they were so far behind that they had to commit a Ravage just to taking down Arteezy after the Aegis.
Yep.
And that allowed them not to be able to fight at that mid push from EG. And Sai, he had the epicenter up the entire duration. I think he wished that they would fight.
Yeah,
just so you can get off some more kills.
I completely agree with you. He just wants to keep the momentum rolling. If you're VICI, you've obviously found yourself in a hole now. Sub 20 minutes. This is the position they've been putting their opponents in for the most part over the last 24 hours. How do you adjust? What do you do to make sure that the hole doesn't get any deeper?
Again, something we've seen a lot in this tournament. You sort of rely on your opponent to make a mistake, and then you capitalize on it. RTK does have that Blink Dagger with Rabbits available to him. We don't have any significant farm on Sylar, but we've seen from Morphlings in the past, how being one of them, that they pick up farms so incredibly fast.
Oh yeah.
If you just allow them to. I don't think EG is one of the teams that are gonna allow that though, and
yeah.
So we see Arteezy, he's got that Midas pick up now, he's got a Mithril Hammer. Also, there's a Maelstrom up on Mason and another 2k gold, so he's just snowballing out of control right now.
VG trying a 4-man bait smoke, and EG not taking the bait. At the bottom, we can actually see Zai split pushing on this Sand King. And yet no one anywhere near the vicinity of this tier 1. VICI takes it for free.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I think they're gonna go ahead.
EG is probably going to pay a bit of respect to the Blink Dagger on ROTK now.
Illusion.
Could potentially push the bottom tier 2 tower. They are all in the area except for Mason, who I'm not sure what he's doing. He just used a Starstorm in the base.
as you can, as you do. EG's trying to catch someone napping here at this bottom lane. Siler did come in, has 20-some seconds on his replicant. Zai might go for this. Nope, going to force the wave for him. And he's got his team behind him, ready to support him.
They see RTK coming in. Yep, walking across the traps.
And here's going to be 2 TPs coming in real quick. Arteezy's going to break to the south. He's going to try to TP right in Razor's face. And will be able to do so. ROTK thought about a Ravage, started to wind up, but decided against the PPD. Trying to juke out and hides in the trees and will be okay. To the north, Zai was still hanging out. Nope, never mind. Oh, thought they got him. Instead, makes it away just by the skin of his teeth.
And again, great play for EG. They have 2 great abilities to try and escape from the VICI Gaming lineup. One, of course, being the Moonlight Shadow, and the other being the Psionic Traps that slows down VICI.
Mason is getting large, man. He already has up his Maelstrom, has a Perseverance up. He's working towards, one would imagine, a Lincoln Sphere. And he's going to be a liability. Like, he is just so big compared to the Morphling. Siler is struggling. He's just now getting up an Ogre Club to go with his Treads and his Aquila. I mean, he's got some gold tucked away aside from that, but his influence is just beginning to wane already. The top 4 net worth on the board right now all belong to EG.
Yeah, and it'll only get worse from here. There's, of course, the Midas on the Templar Assassin, then Universe on the Nature's Prophet, one of the best heroes in the game to farm up fast with. So, and of course, with the Maelstrom up on the Mirana, they're just going to keep on escalating. And Sai on the Sand King, already so many items. He's got an Ogre Club in his stash. He's got the Blink Dagger on the 4-staff on him and another 1200 gold on him. And we're only 20 minutes into the game.
VICI has begun to starve VICI out, taking control of this jungle, and VICI needs a win. There's really no other way to say it. They need a team fight win. This bottom tier 2 tower is deniable now. They're actually going to continue to use Frost Armor on it, so it doesn't look like they're that interested in trying to deny it.
Shadow Shaman now picking up a Blink Dagger.
That'll give them a much needed initiation. They really, really need that mobility.
Yeah, they have some great follow-up now to the Rabbits.
Yep.
Super is slowly picking up items. He's got the mechanism for quite a while now. He's got an Ogre Club and almost 1,000 gold.
And Zai's actually just getting huge. Black King Bar is not far away at all.
Look at the level difference. Sai on the Jungle Sand King, level 13 and a half.
That's what you can do. I mean,
who's even closest?
Sand King
Super level 11 and a half on the Razor solo on the bottom lane.
Insane. And the Morphling, who was duo lane by a Lich, who basically just denied and stayed out of lane. VICI, anticipating movement from EG, might be on the money this time as Mason.
Oh my god, Mason is level 15.
Yep.
No, FY.
Oh wow. Oh wow. They still might get him. Yeah, they're still going to get him. So FY with a bit of a misstep. Nonetheless, they come through either way, and that's a whew kind of a moment.
That almost went bad. They had plenty of invis detection though.
And in the meantime, pushing in mid too. So VICI calmly.
Mason, really not much else he could have done than hit the panic button and leap wherever your direction would take you.
Right. His reactions are actually pretty quick.
Desolator now up on Arteezy.
Yeah, this is where Arteezy starts to get active. Now this is also where it's so important with the Midas build that Arteezy went. Hang on, they're going to ward trap him. This is exactly what they need. They're going to be able to bring him down without much fanfare at all. And they're going to take a tower off of that. This is exactly what they have to have happen.
Still Rabbits available on ROTK. You can just never count VICI Gaming out with the...
Their decision making is just so good. And if you give them anything, if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. If you are out of position one little bit, they will punish you for it. And that kill on Arteezy is a big deal again. Like whenever Arteezy goes with this Midas first kind of a build, when he gets a Deso up is when he really wants to get active, start piling up kills on the squishies. And there are 2 good ones, the Lich and of course the Shadow Shaman. That he can just go to town on. But if you can slow him down off of that, I mean, the Midas is certainly going to keep him in the game, but the natural limitations of Templar Assassin will begin to show themselves.
Yeah, he's just going to sit back and wait for the Black King bar up on Sand King. Once he gets that, there's really nothing the VICI Gaming lineup can do. And then, of course, Nature's Prophet Universe is 500 gold off his Necromicon 3.
Yep.
True Side now being picked up by EG. They want to do Rose, but they want to clear out the wards first. And they are standing right on top of the ward from VICI Gaming. And remember, still Rabbits available.
This is going to be a very quick Roshan if VICI doesn't get there quickly. They need to go right now. Look at that. Already down to about a third health. They can't get there. They can't do it. They're not going to get there in time. Roche is
bottom
down,
to the
and the
dark.
immediate Moonlight Shadow, so VICI, even though they had every reason to know that was going on, they saw them walk over the wards towards the pit and start all of a sudden paying a lot of attention to it. Instead, they give it up, and they're still charging out. There's going to be an arrow shot blindly. ROTK barely missed by it, and EG reveals themselves engaging onto a replicant. So
yeah, the smart move for VICI Gaming to just back off rather than... We see this mistake happening a lot. When a team takes down Roshan, the enemy team, just out of sheer frustration, sometimes run on into them, despite the fact that they've just picked up an Aegis.
right. Like you assume they're going to be low health or something.
FY on the bottom.
Yep, super dead. PPD's right there with him. He's actually going to ward trap PPD, and Mason's going to be there to secure the kill. And PPD able to make it away. Universe coming in just to farm on the wards a little bit and make sure PPD survives. Of course, the mech. Another reason for the transition. Now, Zai. Level 14, he's going to have level 3 epicenter up somewhere in the nature of probably 27, 28 minutes.
That's the problem with dropping down the wards when you die. You just give the enemy team 300 gold.
Yep. Unless you get a kill with it, but even then, if you die, I mean, you're still missing out on the experience and such. But I agree. That's a little bit of a frustration panic moment. Very aggressive ward now down out of PPD. They'll be keeping an eye on this jungle for the rest of the game.
EG just sitting back, waiting for VICI Gaming to make a mistake. Just getting up the items. Now 3,500 gold up on Mason. Black King Bar, of course, completed on Sai.
And the book 3 also done on Universe. Sylar, his item progression, what do you think?
He went straight for a BKB, and that's sort of an act of desperation just because of how far back VICI Gaming is right now. They need to survive through the initiate from EG and just live through the fight long enough to try and take down EG members.
Right. Well, for now, EG has the map spread. They've got Universe doing his thing everywhere. Again, book 3 is complete. 2 at top, that's Arteezy with that Aegis, farming along with Zai beside him. Zai with that fresh BKB, as you had mentioned. Full 10 seconds remain on it. Mason, who has continued to just get bigger and bigger and bigger, is really going to hit a point of critical mass, and it's rare to see a Mirana really have this much direct impact on the game this early. Usually, even when she's farming well, the enemy team's going to be at least farmed enough to the point that she doesn't feel like a real hard-hitting hero.
Yeah, great game by Mason so far. Super now completing his Black King Bar. Interesting to see that Mason went for a Perseverance and then go straight into a Black King Bar instead. Saw last game Universe also just casually making a Perseverance before finishing off a Vladimir's Offering and then finally creating a Refresher Orb. I don't think there's any risk of seeing Mason go for a Refresher Orb though.
Universe with 1,200 gold in his pocket, most likely a Hex would be the optimal choice coming up. Just one more way to deal with the Morphling.
VICI Gaming now coming out with a smoke gank, moving towards PPD and Mason.
PPD might get caught here, will get caught. And now, actually, they end up going to the south. They're going to end up engaging on the Mason. And PPD bypass entirely. Much better target, but can they catch him? BKB and teleporting away. Nope, there's the mini stun from the Chain Frost. And he's going to stop and use Moonlight Shadow. Still trying to chase him. And Mason, guess perhaps wrong, but gets a lot of damage done in the meantime. And the rest of EG is slowly collapsing here. VICI probably needs to clear out. Here comes PPD, Demonic Purge. Thrown out. ROTK going to come back out, look to re-engage, but here comes Arteezy. Sylar going to go ahead and use the BKB. There's going to be the Ravage and caught too. Waveform through, and PPD defensive disruption. Now Sylar could end up dying as the damage output from Arteezy is huge. PPD is down, but Super sapping away at that damage. Zai setting up shop over in the woods. Here comes the Epi. Comes through, and is the damage enough? Yes! Enough to get Sylar. The Aegis was still up on the TA by just a few seconds. Universe pecking away. Zai ends up dying to the Eye of the Storm, but they will get Super behind it all. That's a 3-for-3 exchange, but a 3-for-3 that I think favors EG.
They did lose the Aegis though, so in a lot of ways, VICI
was going to be
should place themselves lucky to win this fight. They did lose their 2 carries, however, whereas Arteezy, of course, lived through it because of that Aegis, now sitting on 4k gold Universe as well, and they got the gem back. So, I mean, EG definitely came out on top, but considering how far behind VICI Gaming already was, it wasn't the worst of fights for them to take. It started out with Mason just standing his ground in a BKB TP and probably forgetting that they had a Lich on the VICI lineup. Yep. I think he could have even outran them. He did have Face Boots, Drum, and the Leap Aura active on him.
Yeah, there was definitely a moment of panic there. I agree. I think it was just a bit of a mental lapse from Mason. Probably could outran them. Tried the TP in their face and the Chain Frost. I actually didn't see if the Chain Frost, because when is the Chain Frost mini stun procs before it connects, right? Or is it only proc when it connects? I think it's before.
Yeah, it's instant.
Exactly.
The second you release it, it cancels.
So I couldn't see. I couldn't see if it was that actually stopped the TP or if Mason just realized all of a sudden because it was very, very close. But anyway, nonetheless, EG getting a lot of gold up on Arteezy and benefiting a ton from it. We'll see what he ends up building.
Gonna see them initiate on top, finding FY. Not finding FY. Oh.
Yep, there we go. Now they're going to come back out. FY drops the wards. It's Mason and Zai. Zai shackled down. Focus firing. The Sand King is going to burrow strike and use a BKB of his own. 4 staffs across the river, and it looks like everyone's going to make it away just fine.
It's such a nifty little combo. You can blink in with the Rasta, start the shackles, and then of course use your Ghost Scepter so that his allies can't shoot you down.
A Sylar. We saw just how squishy he felt in that last fight because of the Deso. They really need to get him going. As of right now, he's actually in the bottom half of the overall net worth. He's got a Ghost Scepter on his way to an F-Blade, but that E-Blade is quite a ways away.
And even then, it's probably not going to be sufficient damage to deal with a hero like Arteezy right now. Of course, Mirana isn't the best of late-game heroes, but a Templar Assassin with this high of a damage output and a continuous item growth is going to be real hard to deal with. PvD, of course, an easy target for an Ethereal Blade. Universe, not quite the same. He went for power threats on the Nature's Prophet. He's got a Mechanism and a Necronomicon 3, so he's got a lot of stats gain and sitting on 1600 health points. Ice Farm sort of come to a halt. He's sitting on 2000 gold, but I mean it's a thing. He has the items he needs.
Oh, exactly. At this point, it's luxury.
I wonder if he's gonna go for a Shiva's Guard or the Aghanim Scepter.
You think Scepter? Or I was even thinking, as simple as it is, even just Nature's Wrath being augmented by a Veil. I don't know. I actually think Shiva's is probably the better call against.
Yeah, I'd go for the Shiva's.
Yep, I agree with you. Well,
you would go for a Veil of Discord?
No, I was throwing it out there as an option. I agree with you. I think
definitely not a bad choice.
Yep. I think, well, I mean, the magic damage on EG, I mean, it's the TA that's really the heavy hitter, but in terms of overall damage, you actually get more out of a Veil. It just doesn't tank you up quite as much as a Scepter does, and it would also help out with what little magic damage.
It's just one of the beauties of tanking overall. There's so many item choices available to him that all benefit from all of them, basically. I'd like the Shivas in this particular case, though.
Big push heading down top lane. That'll be sufficient enough to send VICI.
Even a Scythe of Vice just to deal with the Morphling.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I'm actually, I mean, Universe is making progress towards that with the Mystic Staff already up. ROTK. Doing what he can with these Ancients, and Zai unable to do a whole lot about it. Crit build on Arteezy, by the way. Crystallis now up, has another 1100 gold tucked away, so he's going to be hitting very, very hard, and I don't know, like, Sylar is just so far off the pace he needs to be on.
Yeah, I think EG is just going to still continuously be happy with just farming up right now. They have 3 cores and a Sand King that's already very hard to deal with and dishes out a ton of damage on his own against the Morphling and the Razor from VICI Gaming, and a Razor that I wouldn't say it falls off, it's just not as versatile and great as the rest of the carries in this game. Morphling, however, probably the best of them all.
Just a matter of if they can get him again.
Sylar coming dangerously close to his Eagle Horn now. He can just clear out either that ancient spot or a creep wave.
Do you think that's going to be enough, getting up the E-Blade?
We just saw a fairly close team fight where it actually went, if you look at the overall kills, it went in the favor of VICI Gaming.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely see them coming close to being able to even out these team fights, especially because they have the BKBs that sort of nullifies all the damage coming out from Sai if used at the correct time. So if they can kite Arteezy around long enough, I think they stand a fairly even chance. Especially because Mason's damage output is really... It's fairly insignificant if you compare it to a Morphling or a Razor that uses Static Link.
Mason, again, is still pretty large. He has slowed down a bit in his progression, but basically has his Lincolns done at this point. Not
the problem with the item choices for Mason is they're all about survivability and very little to do with damage output. It's not necessarily a bad thing, though. He's going to sit on 1800 HP, I hope he makes that into a Manta style rather than a Linken's, but maybe he's... I think his biggest issue right now is the fact that the Shadow Shaman has a Blink Dagger and can initiate on him before he can turn on his BKB, and the Linken Sphere would completely negate that risk.
Well, the nice thing about going this build with the Maelstrom is survivability is going to guarantee a bit more damage just because of the procs.
VICI Gaming actually feeling pretty confident they can take a team fight now. They're pushing up through the mid lane. Ooh. Die with an offensive Rose Dive.
Looks like they're just going to deploy the wards. And let's see if and when EG wants to engage. Just heard an arrow. That's actually going to connect on Sylar. No follow-up, though. Not wanting to go in blindly. Arteezy just pecking away at the wards where he can safely. He's actually going to have a replicant made of him that he will target fire down. One last... Oh, no. Tower actually does bring it down after a couple of shots. We'll zoom it back a little bit.
And nice deny from Arteezy coming out.
There's the Hex now done on the Nature's Prophet. And that might be enough to make EG feel like they can take a fight. But VICI not going to give him the opportunity. Pulling back. Universe is doing a great job of keeping these lanes pushed and just constantly keeping the pressure on. So VICI, even whenever they do take a win like that, even when they do take a tower, they just have to constantly be trying to come back and account for him.
And all the wards from EG right now put up by PvD showed that FY was still in the Radiant jungle, so Universe could actually play all the way up to the Radiant base without having to fear getting initiated on. So now an easy Roshan kill coming out.
And there's an arrow. Misses everyone though. Mason's going to charge right up and just go for it. BKB after the Link's pop. Arteezy's there. PPD and Zai coming in from the back. They're going to mech through it. Super doing what he can, but there's the BKB out of Zai as well. So much magic immunity. Super though eating a lot of damage from this is going to be ROTK using the Ravage, trying to bring down Arteezy, but not before he gets some damage done. Defensive disruption out of PPD buys time for Zai to get in and Arteezy to survive. That's going to be 4 down. Can you say 5? That's a double kill for Universe by the time all is said and done. And a huge swing in this match.
And VICI Gaming really needed the invis detection. They put down that Sentry Ward a bit too late, and look at the patience from Zai. He goes in with the Bro Strike, caused a lot of havoc in the fight early on. The BKB goes off from VICI Gaming. Zai retracts himself by the use of the Force Staff, then waits for the BKBs to get over, and then he comes in with a beautiful epicenter, taking down 2 kills on the carries of VICI Gaming. A great execution from EG. They can be very pleased with how they play this game.
2-3 down, racks down, and this might
Radiant's bottom barracks.
be the beginning of the end for VICI. They're going to be playing from behind for a while longer. And they're just going to call it.
Yeah, Mason's item build really showing just how strong it actually is, having 2k on the Priestess of the Moon that is able to just stay in the midst of everything and dish out damage. The Rabbits from RSK a bit disappointing.
Yeah,
it only hit the Templar Assassin, but it is
PPD with the defensive disruption.
Yeah, exactly.
It wouldn't have made a difference because honestly there were 3 heroes down on the side of VICI to begin with. So I mean it's like at that point the fight was basically already over. But to keep Arteezy up meant they could then racks much more quickly. But
near perfect play all around from the EG members, especially in this last team fight. But again, Zai, as so many times before,